Hi, Charles is SirBookSage here, and this is the Wizarding World About Me tag. Now this tag was originally created by Read and Find Out. I will link her video of her original tag down below. And I was tagged by Maria from teabooksmagic when she did this tag, and I will link her tag video down below as well. So there are a series of questions here about your Hogwarts Wizarding World experience. 7 questions, I believe. And let's get into question number 1. So you've received your Hogwarts letter and you're off to go shopping at Diagon Alley. Tell us about your wand. So now the very first thing I did after watching teabooksmagic's tag video and discovering that I was tagged as well was I went right to Pottermore and did the quiz for the wand. And I got a hawthorn wood with a unicorn hair corn, 10 3/4 inches, and quite bendy flexibility. I am not well up on wand lore, so I still have to do more research about it, and I'm curious if anyone knows of any of the characters in the books that actually have the hawthorn wood wand. Please hit me up in the comments and let me know. I'm really, really curious. Just as a quick aside, I am in the middle of a first-time reread of the Harry Potter series. I just finished book 1 this past weekend. I'm starting book 2 this weekend. I have a weekly video series I do with that. And so if someone has this wand in one of the later books, it's going to be quite a while before I get to it. So hit me up in the comments if you know anyone who has the hawthorn wood. Now that said, let's go on to question number 2. Do you bring a pet to Hogwarts? And if so, what? I don't know that I would necessarily bring a pet to school or not. But if I did, and my choices were only among the choices that Hogwarts generally has, I would go with the Eagle Owl. That's what I chose for my house sorting when I was getting them sorted into my Hogwarts house. And apparently Draco Malfoy has the Eagle Owl too, which I thought was interesting. If I could choose any pet at all of any kind, I'd still stick to the bird family, I guess the avian family, and my choice would be Sparrowhawk. And that's a kind of hat tip to Ursula K. Le Guin's The Wizard of Earthsea series, which was one of my all-time favorite fantasy series. So the Sparrowhawk would be my number 1 choice if I could choose from anything at all. But choosing amongst the general Hogwarts things, it would be an Eagle Owl. Okay, question number 3. You've arrived at Hogwarts, or in my case, Ilvermorny. Which houses do you belong to? So the first thing I did on the Pottermore website before starting my whole series reread, I got sorted into my Hogwarts house. And I was very, very happy about what was chosen for me. And it's the one that I wanted. And that is Ravenclaw, because I think that suits me best. Because there they deal with wisdom and knowledge and all those things. And that's kind of how I am. I like to read, I like to study, I like to learn. And right before taking this test today and doing this video, I went and got sorted into my Ilvermorny house, and I am the Horned Serpent, and which I don't know a lot about their houses, but from what I've been reading, really, really cool. It seems to be a good parallel to Ravenclaw because they're also deal with learning and wisdom and scholarly stuff. And I love the Celtic serpent and the actual proper shamrocks in the design, not 4-leaf clovers, but actual shamrocks, which is a more truer, proper representation of Ireland, which my mother's side of the family are all from Ireland. My grandparents were born there and came over here when they were younger. So I think it's an absolutely perfect fit for me from what little I know about it so far. So I was really, really happy about that. All right, question number 4. Do you try out for your house Quidditch team? And if so, for what position? I probably would not. I liked playing sports. I wasn't on sports teams in school, though. I would just enjoy playing with my friends out and about on the weekends and stuff. So I probably wouldn't join a Quidditch team, though I would definitely be a fan of whichever one. And since Ravenclaw would be the Ravenclaw team or Horned Serpent team if they've got one. Because I'd probably want to spend that extra time reading and learning and not actually playing the sport and dedicating all that extra time to that. I'd put it to use in learning. But I definitely go to the games and watch. So question number 5. Year 3, third years roll around, and it's time to enroll in electives. So you have to pick at least 2, and the options presented here are Ancient Runes, Arithmancy, Care of Magical Creatures, Divination, and Muggles Studies. And out of all these, my first choice would be Divination, because it just seems really interesting to dive into that and like read tea leaves. I'm a big fan of tea anyway. And I imagine I could probably create a way to read hops. As a big craft beer fan, I could probably come up with that if it doesn't exist in the wizarding world, divination world. But it just seems like something really cool and interesting. As a reader of fantasy, prophecies and all those things are part of the whole enjoyment of that genre. So going down that field of study would seem like a lot of fun and be really fascinating and interesting. And just I forget the name of the room at the Ministry of Magic that has all those globes that hold all those sort of prophecies and things. If getting to study and look at those, it would be part of the schooling and learning, that would be pretty sweet. Second after that would be Care of Magical Creatures. Probably because it seems like a really smart bit of knowledge to have. I wouldn't want Hagrid's job of being the caretaker of these things, but if you're out and about in this wizarding world, you're going to encounter magical creatures. And it seems smart to me to have a good base knowledge of what they are, how to handle them, what kind of trouble they get into, and all those sorts of things. It just seems like it's a skill that would really come in handy. And my backup elective, if I had to have one in my back pocket, just in case one of those 2 kind of fell out for me, it would probably be Ancient Runes. Again, language and it fascinates me in general. And it just seems like a really cool thing to study. Whether it would be particularly useful or not, I don't know. Perhaps in that kind of world it would. But from the scholarly side of me, it's definitely something I would like to learn. And now we go to number 6, and some time passes. You've taken your O.W.L.s, and now it's time to start year 6. And which classes do you continue to study for your N.E.W.T.s? And your options include the electives you selected in the previous question and the core Hogwarts classes, which are Astronomy, Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Herbology, History of Magic, Potions, and Transfiguration. Now, my initial thought was to go with History of Magic because I like studying, I like history, I like learning the history of things, but that's something I'd be doing anyway in the wizarding world on my own, regardless. So I don't know if I want to dedicate a N.E.W.T. to it because I'm going to be learning that regardless. So why waste a N.E.W.T. isn't necessarily the right thing, but if I wanted to go down the teaching road and teach magical history, that would make sense. But I'm going to put that aside because that's going to be a lifelong study for me. So my first choice is going to be Defense Against the Dark Arts because I went for 3 choices that to me seem really practical. Defense Against the Dark Arts, Transfiguration, and Potions. Because if you're out and about in the field, if you will, as a wizard, and you're encountering a lot of dangerous things, and those 3 things, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Transfiguration, and Potions, seem like the 3 skills I would want handy in a pinch. Because they're seems to be the 3 that are going to save your life a lot more than Herbology, History of Magic, Charms, Astronomy. Those are good things to know about, but they seem like less life and death moments to me than when you would need a Transfiguration to change into something and escape, or change into something and spy and get information. Potions, you might need to be able to throw a potion together to save someone's life on the spot, including your own. And of course, Defense Against the Dark Arts. If there's been a Grindelwald and there's been a Voldemort, there's going to be someone else who's going to come along and just throw the whole wizarding world into chaos. So I'm going with really practical choices here. And those 3 to me, out of all of them, seem like, again, the ones I'm going to need to know the most, that are going to save my life and other people's lives on the spot. So that's kind of how my brain works there. The others, it's nice to know, but probably less of a situation where I'm going to need that answer immediately. I can go find someone who can give me the answer. And then the last question here is, it's time to leave Hogwarts and make your way in the wider wizarding world, and where do you go from here? Now, since I'm in the U.S., I'd probably be in Ilvermorny and Leaving Ilvermorny. And if that's the case, I'd go over to England and Scotland and immerse myself in their wizarding world and learn their customs and their ways. If there's a postgraduate thing, I'd go to Hogwarts and take a couple of classes just to kind of get a feel of the place. And if I was from Hogwarts, I'd come to the U.S. and do the same thing. And if I had the resources, I'd kind of do that first. Go to each of the major wizarding centers around the world and kind of immerse myself in each of their cultures and each of their ways and each of their styles. And then doing that, I'd figure it out from there what I want to actually do with myself and my life and what kind of wizarding world job I'd want. But I think there's so much more in this world than we get to see in these books. And one of my favorite things about the Goblet of Fire was us getting a look at some of these other schools, and you can see a lot of differences stylistically, in terms of the way they think and act and teach. There's big differences there. So that would be something that I think would be really worth going out and exploring, because it's easy to get trapped in your own little corner, in your own little bubble, and just live in that little, and it may not be safe, but at least that little comfortable world. And I think it would be a good thing to go out and explore all the other ones and really like open the whole world up, because you never know who's going to crisscross between those different pockets of wizarding worlds, and you never know what piece of information you're going to need to know in order to help yourself, help others. So I think that's probably where I would start. And I think that's pretty much it. I loved this tag. It was a pretty cool tag. I could talk about Harry Potter all day long as well, especially now that I'm back rereading the series for the first time. It's a lot of fun. I have not done my Patronus thing yet. Like I said, I was glad it wasn't a question here, because I'm going to wait until I get to Prisoner of Azkaban in my reread, and then I'm going to do the Patronus thing on the website to find out what mine would be. I'm pretty curious about it, but that's a good... I don't know if it's... if I get to Prisoner of Azkaban before the end of the year or not. I'd have to look at my reading schedule for it. But I'm pretty excited about that as well. And who am I going to tag? I'm trying to think of who are the big Harry Potter fans. And I guess right off the bat, the one person I know is a big Harry Potter fan is, I'm going to have to tag Silvia Kay. So Silvia, if you have not been tagged in the Wizarding World About Me tag yet, consider yourself tagged. And Silvia's got a great booktube channel as well. And she has a brand new like daily video channel, which is more along the personal like discussion mode. That's a little separate from her booktube channel. So I'll link to Silvia down below as well, to both her channels, so you can find those. And I think that's pretty much it. I am going to wrap this up here. Again, when it comes to the Hawthorn Wood Wand, if you know more about it, hit me up in the comments. If you know characters who have it, hit me up in the comments. Anyone who's a Ravenclaw or Horned Serpent, let me know. I'm curious, anyone watching this, if you've done your sortings and you're into Harry Potter, what your houses and your wands are. And again, anyone else who wants to do this tag, you don't need to be specifically tagged in it. Have fun. I'm sure Read and Find Out would love to have other people just diving into this tag as well. This, I believe, is their first original tag she's created on BookTube. So definitely go check her out and check her video out. teabooksmagic as well. And I'm going to wrap it up here before I start rambling again. I am Charles of SirBookSage. Happy reading.